Luke and Kira faced growing responsibilities as their bond continued to inspire unity. They spent their days strengthening relationships between humans and Zalari, traveling often and speaking openly about cooperation and trust. Their bond had evolved from an accidental moment into something deep and meaningful, yet despite their efforts, underlying threats persisted. The Dralox had regrouped and were preparing another major assault. Luke and Kira knew they had to act swiftly to protect. Their alliance stopped one morning. A distress call reached the Central Command. A distant human colony reported an imminent Dralox attack. Luke and Kira quickly mobilized forces to respond. Determined to save innocent lives, traveling at top speed, their ship raced toward the endangered colony. As they approached, Luke saw the Dralox fleet already attacking. Explosions rocked the settlement, and desperate calls for help filled the communication channels. "We must move quickly," Kira urged, her voice steady but urgent. "Prepare to engage immediately." Luke nodded, swiftly coordinating the defense. Their forces moved decisively, confronting the Dralox directly. The battle was fierce, each moment filled with danger. Luke managed the ship's systems expertly, maximizing their defensive capabilities. Kira led their warriors bravely, inspiring confidence and courage. Working seamlessly, they pushed back the attackers. Slowly regaining control in the heat of battle, Luke spotted a small civilian ship trapped by enemy fire. Without hesitation, he maneuvered their vessel skillfully, shielding the civilians and allowing them to escape safely. His quick action saved many lives, earning further respect from both humans and Zalari. Finally, after hours of intense fighting, the Dralox retreated once again. Exhausted but victorious, Luke and Kira returned to the colony, greeted with heartfelt gratitude and admiration. That evening, gathered around a warm fire with survivors, Luke listened quietly as stories of bravery and survival were shared. He felt pride seeing Kira comforting and reassuring everyone around her. A young human girl approached them shyly, her eyes wide with wonder. "You saved us," she whispered softly, looking at Luke and Kira with awe. "You're heroes." Luke smiled, gently, kneeling to meet her gaze. "We did what needed to be done," he replied kindly, "and we'll always be here to protect you." The child smiled brightly, hugging them both quickly before running off to rejoin her family. Kira watched her go, her expression warm and thoughtful. "These moments remind me why our bond matters," Kira said softly. "We are symbols of hope, Luke." Luke nodded quietly, feeling deeply grateful. "It's a responsibility we share, and I'm glad we face it together." Kira smiled warmly, gently taking his hand. Together, she agreed softly. Their moment of peace was brief, as urgent news reached him soon after. Intelligence had located the Dralox stronghold, a major threat to the entire alliance. Destroying it was essential, yet the mission was extremely dangerous. Luke and Kira knew they had no choice but to lead this critical mission themselves. They quickly assembled their best warriors, preparing carefully for the dangerous task ahead. Stronghold was heavily fortified, defended fiercely by Dralox forces. Approaching quietly, Luke expertly disabled critical defense systems, allowing their team to enter undetected. Inside, they moved carefully, avoiding detection and fighting only when necessary. Each corridor brought new risks, each moment filled with tension. Luke stayed close to Kira, their trust stronger than ever. Finally, they reached the heart of the stronghold, a massive control room filled with complex systems. Luke immediately began sabotaging vital controls, while Kira and their warriors protected him from enemy attacks. As Luke worked, alarms suddenly blared. The Dralox had discovered their intrusion. Enemy soldiers rushed in, attacking fiercely. Luke knew time was limited, his fingers moving swiftly over the controls. "Almost there," Luke called out urgently, feeling sweat drip down his forehead. "We will hold them off," Kira shouted firmly, leading their warriors bravely. "Finish the task, Luke." Luke concentrated fiercely, finally completing the sabotage. As he stepped away, the entire room shook violently. Explosions erupted throughout the stronghold, signaling their success. "Retreat now!" Kira commanded loudly, guiding everyone quickly back to their ship. They raced through collapsing corridors, barely escaping as the stronghold exploded behind them. As they returned safely to their ship, relief flooded through them all. Once clear of danger, Luke and Kira stood quietly together, gazing out at the peaceful stars. "We did it," Luke said softly, feeling deep satisfaction. Kira smiled gently, her silver eyes bright with warmth. "Yes," she agreed quietly. Together. Their bond had faced incredible challenges, but each struggle had strengthened it further. Luke knew now their unity was unbreakable, a true source of hope and strength for everyone around them. As they returned home, victorious and unified, Luke felt immense pride and happiness. Together, they had shown the power of trust, courage, and love. Their bond had transformed from a simple accident into something extraordinary, a beacon of hope for a better, unified future. Following their victory, Luke and Kira returned to their daily lives with a newfound respect from both humans and Zalari. Their bond had grown stronger, becoming a symbol of unity and hope throughout the Alliance. People everywhere admired their bravery and teamwork, talking about them with excitement and pride. Despite their successes, Luke noticed growing tension within the Alliance. Some Zalari traditionalists openly opposed their bond, believing it undermined ancient Zalari customs. Similarly, a few human leaders voiced doubts, uncertain about interspecies relationships. Luke knew he and Kira had to handle these concerns carefully. One morning, a special council meeting was called. Luke and Kira entered a grand hall, filled with representatives from both races. Tension filled the room, and the crowd murmured quietly. As the meeting began, a respected Zalari elder named Viorn stood to speak first. He looked directly at Kira, his voice deep and serious. "Warrior Kira, your achievements are great," Viorn began. "But your bond with this human troubles many of our people. It goes against centuries of tradition." Kira stood confidently, her expression calm. "Elder Viorn, our traditions value bravery, loyalty, and strength. Luke has shown all of these qualities. Our bond strengthens the Alliance." Viorn frowned deeply, shaking his head. "Your actions risk weakening the very foundation of our culture." A human politician, Senator Elena Hart, then spoke up, her voice sharp and clear. "Some of us also worry that mixing our species might cause more conflict than unity. Are we certain this bond benefits us all?" Luke felt his heart beat faster. Knowing this moment was critical, he stepped forward, facing the entire council. "Our bond started accidentally," he admitted honestly. "But it became real through trust, respect, and understanding. Kira and I have fought side by side. Our unity helped us defeat the Dralocs. This bond represents hope, showing that together we are stronger." The room went silent as everyone considered Luke's words. After a moment, Viorn nodded slowly, appearing thoughtful. "Your words carry weight, Luke Carter," he said carefully. "Perhaps it is time we reconsider some traditions." Senator Hart also looked thoughtful, her sharp expression softening slightly. "We must reflect on what unity truly means," she admitted. "Your bond may indeed offer lessons we need to learn." Luke felt relief flood through him as the atmosphere in the room shifted, becoming less tense. The meeting concluded positively, with many council members appearing more open to their bond. Afterward, Luke and Kira spent time traveling through the Alliance territories, visiting both human and Zalari communities. They spoke openly, sharing their experiences and addressing concerns directly. One evening, they visited a Zalari village known for its strong traditional beliefs. The villagers gathered around, curious but cautious. Kira spoke first, calmly and clearly. "We understand your concerns," Kira began gently. "But Luke and I have found strength together. Our differences make us powerful. We believe unity is our greatest weapon against threats like the Dralocs." Luke stepped forward, speaking softly but confidently. "Our bond symbolizes trust and cooperation. Together, Humans and Zalari can build a future filled with peace and prosperity. Slowly, villagers began asking questions, engaging openly in conversation. Luke and Kira answered patiently, addressing each concern respectfully. By the end of their visit, many villagers seemed to understand and accept their bond as they traveled further. Luke noticed how naturally they worked together. Kira's calm presence balanced his thoughtful nature, creating perfect harmony. Each day, their bond deepened, bringing genuine happiness and warmth. However, not all challenges disappeared easily. Reports arrived one evening, indicating a rogue. Zalari group opposed to their union had formed. They threatened the delicate peace within the alliance, determined to end Luke and Kira's bond by force. Luke felt worried, but Kira remained steadfast. "We must confront them directly," she said firmly. "We cannot allow division to threaten our future." They quickly organized a meeting, inviting representatives from both sides to discuss openly. The rogue group's leader, a warrior named Zoran, arrived reluctantly, his expression hard and hostile. "Your bond is unnatural," Zoran accused angrily, glaring at Luke and Kira. "It weakens our people," Kira faced him calmly. "Our bond makes us stronger, not weaker. It brings unity and cooperation. We can achieve far more together." Luke stepped forward bravely. "Zoran, we don't ask you to abandon your beliefs. We ask only for your respect. Our bond is a choice we made freely, one that benefits both humans and Zalari." Zoran hesitated, still looking uncertain. "Perhaps your intentions are good," he admitted slowly. "But how can we be sure your bond will truly help our people?" Luke met his gaze steadily. "Only by giving us a chance," he said earnestly. "Judge us by our actions and what we've accomplished together." The room fell silent again, everyone waiting for Zoran's response. After a long pause, he finally nodded reluctantly. "Very well," he said grudgingly. "We will give your bond a chance." Relief filled Luke and Kira as the tension eased. Though not all hostility vanished instantly, this was an important step forward. Later, standing quietly together under the stars once more, Luke smiled gently at Kira. "We faced a difficult challenge today," he said softly. "But we did it together." Kira smiled warmly, her silver eyes glowing softly. "Together," she echoed gently, squeezing his hand softly. "Our bond grows stronger every day." Luke felt deep peace and happiness. Despite remaining challenges, their bond had proven resilient, growing stronger through trust, courage, and unwavering unity. Days passed quickly as Luke and Kira prepared for the growing threat from the Dralox. Their unity had strengthened the alliance between humans and Zalari, but tensions remained high. Intelligence reports showed the Dralox were mobilizing their forces, clearly determined to destroy this new symbol of cooperation. One afternoon, Luke found himself in a large command center, surrounded by blinking screens and focused personnel. Maps displayed Dralox movements, and urgent messages flashed across various terminals. Beside him, Kira studied the screens intensely. "Their fleet is assembling near the outer borders," Kira noted gravely, pointing at the maps. "We must anticipate their attack," Luke nodded thoughtfully. "We need a strategy," he agreed. His mind raced as he considered the options. Suddenly, alarms blared loudly, red lights flashing urgently. Personnel began moving quickly, responding to the sudden crisis. "Incoming attack!" A voice shouted urgently. "Dralox forces approaching." Fast, Kira immediately sprang into action. "Prepare our defenses," she ordered loudly, her voice strong and authoritative. Luke moved swiftly alongside her, his heart pounding. He knew the situation was serious. They rushed to the main defense platform, quickly gearing up for battle. Outside, the Dralox fleet appeared large, menacing ships filled the sky. The enemy wasted no time, opening fire immediately. Explosions rocked the station, shaking the floors beneath their feet. "We must hold them off," Kira shouted, rallying her warriors. "Protect our people." Luke quickly got to work, managing the station's defensive systems. His engineering skills became crucial as he adjusted shields and weapons. The situation was desperate, but Luke remained calm, focusing intently. "We have to weaken their front." "Line," Luke called out urgently. "I can adjust the main cannons for maximum effect." Kira nodded firmly. "Do it," she commanded, trusting him completely. Luke worked quickly, recalibrating the systems. Within moments, the cannons fired, powerful blasts striking the Dralok's fleet. The enemy ships faltered briefly, providing a precious moment of relief. "They're regrouping," another voice shouted, warning everyone. "We need another plan," Luke said urgently, looking at Kira. "We can't hold them off forever." Kira paused briefly, her eyes fierce yet thoughtful. "We must take the fight to them," she decided. "A small team, a precise strike." Luke hesitated only a moment before nodding. "I'm coming with you," he insisted firmly. Kira looked at him steadily, concern evident in her silver eyes. "It will be dangerous." "I know," Luke replied softly but confidently. "But I can't let you face this alone." Kira's expression softened. "Then we go together," she said resolutely. They quickly assembled a team of skilled warriors, humans, and Zalari. Side by side, Luke felt pride seeing the unity their bond had inspired. Together, they boarded a small shuttle, heading directly toward the enemy's lead ship. The Dralok ships opened heavy fire, forcing Luke to pilot the shuttle skillfully. Explosions filled space around them, each moment tense and dangerous. Despite the chaos, Luke remained focused, steering through enemy fire expertly. They reached the lead ship, docking quickly and boarding without hesitation. Inside, fierce combat awaited. Kira fought bravely, her movements precise and powerful. Luke stayed close, protecting her and providing tactical support. As they moved deeper into the enemy ship, resistance grew stronger. Dralok's warriors, fierce and ruthless, blocked their way. Luke and Kira fought side by side, their bond evident in their perfect teamwork. Finally, they reached the ship's command center. Inside, the Dralok's commander waited, his eyes cold and merciless. "Your alliance is weak," the commander sneered. "It will crumble easily." "You're wrong," Kira replied firmly. "Our unity makes us stronger than ever." A fierce battle erupted, Kira engaging the commander directly while Luke tackled the ship's systems. Using his knowledge, he quickly disabled vital functions, weakening the enemy's defenses. The commander fought fiercely, but Kira's skill and determination prevailed. She struck decisively, defeating him. Without their leader, the Dralok's forces faltered, beginning to retreat. Luke quickly secured the enemy's ship, taking control and turning it against the remaining fleet. Within minutes, the tide of battle turned dramatically. The Dralok's forces were driven back, forced into full retreat. The shuttle returned victoriously to their station, greeted by joyous cheers and applause from humans and Zalari alike. Luke and Kira stepped out together, their bond clearer than ever. "We did it," Luke said softly, looking at Kira with pride. "Together," she replied warmly, her eyes glowing with happiness. As the crowd celebrated around them, Luke realized how much their bond had grown. It had started accidentally, but now it was genuine, strong, and deeply meaningful. Facing battle together had united them in ways he had never imagined. That night, they stood quietly together under the stars once more. Luke felt peace and happiness despite recent danger. "We've proven our bond," Kira said softly. "No one can doubt us now." Luke smiled warmly. "No one," he agreed gently. "I trust you completely, Kira." "And I trust you," she replied softly, gently. Taking his hand in hers, they stood silently, knowing their challenges weren't over. But now, truly united, they felt ready for whatever lay ahead. The morning sun had barely risen when Luke found himself at the Zalari training grounds, his nerves tight. He felt unsure of himself, but determined. Kira stood close beside him, quietly offering encouragement. Luke could see worry in her eyes. Though she tried to hide it, Lana arrived moments later, wearing her combat armor. Her expression was cold, filled with arrogance. A small group of Zalari and human spectators had gathered, whispering and exchanging curious glances. "Are you ready, human?" Lana called out sharply. Luke took a deep breath, nodding firmly. "I'm ready," he replied. Lana motioned to an obstacle course, intricate and challenging, designed specifically for Zalari warriors. It included climbing, running, leaping, and overcoming various traps. "Complete this, and perhaps I'll accept your bond," Lana sneered. Kira stepped forward, giving Luke a reassuring look. "Remember, rely on your strengths. Use your intelligence, not just your strength." Luke nodded again, grateful for her words. Taking another deep breath, he began the challenge. His heart was beating fast, but he focused on staying calm and steady. The first obstacles were manageable, testing basic agility and strength. Luke climbed swiftly over barriers, crawled under low beams, and jumped from platform to platform. His engineering skills helped him understand how each obstacle worked. He moved carefully, analyzing quickly. Next came a section with hidden traps. Luke paused, carefully studying the layout. He picked up a small stone, throwing it ahead. Immediately, hidden panels opened, releasing nets and snares designed to catch him. Luke felt relief. His quick thinking had saved him from failure. Kira watched anxiously, pride slowly replacing worry. Luke was proving himself, demonstrating his intelligence and courage. Lana observed silently, clearly annoyed that Luke was performing better than she had anticipated. As Luke continued, the obstacles became more demanding. He had to leap across wide gaps, narrowly avoiding falls. His heart raced, adrenaline driving him onward. Near the end of the course, Luke faced the final and most difficult challenge, a complex puzzle requiring logic and precision under pressure. He approached it carefully, examining the strange patterns and symbols. Zalari puzzles were unfamiliar, but Luke's engineering mind quickly analyzed the structure. He realized it was a combination lock, requiring precise alignment. Time was ticking away. Spectators were silent, holding their breaths. Luke carefully aligned the symbols, listening closely for subtle clicks. Sweat ran down his forehead as he turned the final piece, holding his breath. The puzzle clicked loudly, unlocking the last barrier. Cheers erupted from the crowd as Luke stepped triumphantly beyond the final obstacle. He felt relief and pride flooding through him. He had done it. Kira immediately came forward, her eyes shining with joy. "You were incredible," she said warmly, her voice filled with admiration. Luke smiled shyly, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thanks," he said softly, meeting her eyes. He saw genuine pride and happiness there, making his heart flutter unexpectedly. Approached reluctantly, clearly displeased but forced to accept his success. "You have completed the challenge," she admitted stiffly. "I acknowledge your courage." Luke nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Lana." The spectators approached, offering congratulations. Humans and Zalari alike praised Luke's bravery and intelligence. For the first time, he truly felt part of their community. Later that evening, Luke and Kira walked together beneath the stars, reflecting quietly on the day. The night was calm, and the sky was filled with brilliant constellations. "You truly impressed everyone today," Kira said softly, breaking the silence. "You impressed me." Luke smiled, glancing at her shyly. "I couldn't have done it without your encouragement," he admitted gently. Kira stopped walking, turning to face him. Her expression was serious, yet soft. "Luke, our bond began as an accident, but I am glad it happened. You have shown me true courage and loyalty." Luke felt warmth spread through him. "I feel the same," he admitted quietly, surprised by his own honesty. "Being with you feels right." Kira reached out gently, touching his hand. "Together we can face anything," she said firmly, her silver eyes bright. Luke squeezed her hand softly, agreeing silently. He knew challenges remained, but with Kira by his side, he felt stronger than ever. The next morning, news of Luke's success had spread rapidly. Both humans and Zalari were talking excitedly about the bond between Luke and Kira. Their unity was becoming a powerful symbol of cooperation and hope. However, their newfound closeness also attracted unwanted attention. Reports came in of increased Dralox activity near Alliance borders. Luke and Kira realized their bond had made them targets. During a strategic meeting, a grim-faced human commander informed them, "The Dralox view your unity as a threat. Intelligence indicates they are planning something major." Luke and Kira exchanged a determined glance. "We will face whatever comes," Kira said firmly. Luke nodded, standing confidently beside her. "Together," he added as the meeting ended, they knew they faced new dangers. But their bond, initially formed by chance, had grown stronger through trust, respect, and shared courage. Now united, they were ready to confront any threat that challenged their people's future. After the ceremony, Luke and Kira returned to their quarters, away from the curious eyes and congratulatory cheers. Luke felt his heart racing, still unsure of what had just happened. He glanced at Kira, who appeared calm and thoughtful. "So, what happens now?" Luke asked quietly, trying not to sound nervous. Kira turned to face him, her silver eyes gentle but serious. "We need to make our bond believable. Our people will expect us to act as a bonded pair would. We must spend time together and support each other openly." Luke nodded slowly, taking in the information. "How exactly do bonded pairs behave?" he asked hesitantly. "They share daily tasks, meals, public appearances," Kira explained patiently. "It is about trust, respect, and companionship. It does not require deep intimacy immediately, but we must appear close and comfortable with each other." Luke rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. "I think I can manage that," he said, trying to sound confident. He saw a hint of amusement flicker in Kira's eyes. "Good," she replied warmly. "We will learn about each other gradually. Tell me about yourself, Luke." Luke hesitated, feeling slightly embarrassed. "There's not much to tell. I grew up on Earth, studied engineering, and I've spent the past few years maintaining equipment for our Alliance's fleet." "Your skills are important," Kira said sincerely. "Without engineers like you, our warriors would be defenseless." Luke felt his face heat up. Her genuine praise made him feel valued. "Thanks," he mumbled shyly. "What about you? How did you become a warrior?" Kira leaned against the wall, her expression thoughtful. "On Zeller, we begin training young. It is an honor to defend our people. I proved myself in battles against the Dralox, earning respect among our warriors." "That sounds intense," Luke said, feeling admiration for her. "It was," Kira agreed softly, "but it is the path I chose." They shared a brief silence, each thinking about the other's words. Luke felt strangely comfortable talking to Kira. Despite the unusual situation, her calm presence was reassuring. The next day, Luke woke early and found Kira already awake, sitting quietly by the window, gazing at the stars. "Couldn't sleep?" Luke asked gently, approaching her. "No," Kira admitted quietly. "I was thinking about what this bond means for both our peoples." Luke sat beside her, looking at the stars alongside her. "Do you think we can really help unite our people?" "I believe so," Kira said firmly. "Our bond is symbolic, but symbols have power. Our unity can inspire others." Luke smiled softly, feeling encouraged by her words. "Then let's do our best," he said determinedly. Kira turned to him, her silver eyes warm. "Together," she agreed. Over the next few days, Luke and Kira appeared publicly, attending meetings and diplomatic events side by side. Luke began to see how important their bond was to both humans and Zilari. Everywhere they went, people watched them with curiosity and respect. However, not everyone seemed pleased. Luke noticed a Zilari warrior named Lana frequently glaring at them. Her hostility was clear. "Who is she?" Luke quietly asked Kira during a formal dinner. Kira glanced subtly at Lana. "She is Lana, a skilled warrior. She disagrees strongly with our alliance." "Does she pose a threat?" Luke asked, concerned. "Possibly," Kira admitted cautiously. "We should be careful." The following day, Luke and Kira were scheduled to visit a newly established joint training facility. Humans and Zalari were working together, learning each other's techniques. Luke watched with interest as Kira demonstrated her impressive combat skills. As Kira sparred with another warrior, Lana stepped forward from the crowd. "Is your human mate truly strong enough to stand beside you, Kira?" Lana challenged loudly. The crowd fell silent. Luke felt dozens of eyes turning toward him, waiting for his reaction. His heart pounded nervously, but he knew he couldn't show weakness. Before he could reply, Kira spoke firmly. "Luke's strength is not in battle, but in courage and intelligence. Qualities our people deeply respect," Lana smirked. "Yet he has not proven himself." Luke stepped forward, facing Lana bravely. "I may not be a warrior like you, Lana, but I stand beside Kira proudly. If you doubt my dedication, let me prove it to you." Lana raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued by his courage. "Very well," she said coolly. "Tomorrow, you will face a challenge designed for Zalari warriors. If you succeed, I will accept your bond. If not, your weakness will be clear to all." Luke nodded, feeling the weight of the challenge but refusing to back down. "I accept," he said firmly. As Lana walked away, Kira turned to Luke, concern evident on her face. "You did not have to do that," she whispered. "I had to," Luke said gently, meeting her gaze steadily. "Our bond has to be respected. I won't let you down." Kira's eyes softened, and she touched his arm lightly. "Then I will prepare you. We will face this challenge together." Luke felt warmth spread through him, knowing he wasn't alone. With Kira beside him, he felt ready to face whatever came next. Luke Carter wiped sweat from his forehead as he stared intently at the complicated Zalari armor in front of him. It was different from anything he had seen before. Sleek, shiny, and fitted with lights and panels that hummed quietly, the armor seemed almost alive. He adjusted his tools carefully, making sure each piece was perfectly aligned. The Zalari warrior, Kira, stood silently, her sharp eyes watching every move Luke made. Kira was tall and graceful, with pale blue skin and long dark hair. Her eyes were a piercing shade of silver, calm yet fierce. Luke had never seen anyone quite like her. She was a highly respected warrior among the Zalari and earned a reputation for bravery in battle. Luke, on the other hand, was just an engineer, a good one, but still only human. He knew how important this event was. Humans and Zalari were meeting for a historic conference. They hoped to strengthen their fragile alliance against a common enemy, an aggressive alien species known as the Dralox. Luke's job was simple but critical, to make sure Kira's armor worked perfectly for the ceremony. "Are you almost finished, Luke?" Kira asked softly. Her voice was deep and steady. Luke nodded, feeling slightly nervous. "Just a few more adjustments. I don't want anything to go wrong." "You do good work," Kira said approvingly. Her compliment made Luke relax a little. "Thanks," Luke replied shyly, keeping his focus on the armor. He had spent weeks studying Zalari technology, preparing for this moment. As Luke moved to adjust a small panel near her shoulder, his fingers accidentally touched a hidden button. The armor responded instantly, glowing softly and making a gentle humming sound that Luke had never heard before. He froze, suddenly unsure. Kira's eyes widened slightly, and she turned to look directly into Luke's eyes. Her gaze was intense and curious. "Did you just—" she began, looking surprised but also strangely pleased. "I think I pressed something by accident," Luke admitted, feeling his face turn hot with embarrassment. Kira smiled, a rare and genuine expression. "You activated a mating bond signal," she said quietly. Luke stared at her in shock. "A what?" "A mating bond," Kira repeated patiently. In Zalari culture, when two beings form a bond, it's symbolized by activating this special function. On the armor, it's a sacred tradition. Luke felt panic rising. "I'm so sorry." "I didn't know," but before he could finish, Kira placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Don't apologize," she said calmly. I accept your offer. Wait, offer? Luke asked, feeling his heart race. Yes, Kira explained gently, her voice steady and sure. Activating the bond is considered an offer of companionship. By tradition, accepting publicly means we're officially bonded. Luke opened his mouth to protest, to explain it was all a mistake, but suddenly the door opened, and Zalari and human dignitaries entered the room, preparing for the conference. Kira turned to them, raising her voice clearly and confidently. My mate, Luke Carter, she announced. The entire room went silent, everyone staring at Luke in surprise. Then, one by one, smiles appeared on the faces of both Zalari and humans, and applause erupted across the room. The Zalari seemed genuinely delighted, their faces bright with approval. Luke stood frozen, feeling completely overwhelmed. He glanced at Kira, who smiled warmly and reassuringly. She squeezed his shoulder lightly. Just follow my lead, she whispered gently. Luke nodded numbly, forcing a smile as he faced the cheering crowd. Inside, he wondered what he had just gotten himself into. Yet, strangely, he also felt a warmth he couldn't quite explain. Seeing the pride and happiness in Kira's expression. As the cheering died down, officials approached to congratulate them. Luke felt Kira standing close, her presence calm and comforting amidst his anxiety. He began to realize the seriousness of what had just happened. He had unknowingly made a commitment, binding himself to this powerful Zalari warrior. After the ceremony ended, Kira pulled Luke aside, away from the crowd. Are you all right? She asked softly, concern in her silver eyes. Luke took a deep breath, steadying himself. I'm a bit overwhelmed, he admitted honestly. But I guess there's no turning back now, right? Kira nodded solemnly. Breaking a bond would cause a serious diplomatic incident, damaging the alliance between our people. Luke sighed deeply. Then we'll have to make this work somehow, he said bravely. Kira's smile returned, gentle and reassuring. I believe we will, she said confidently. Together, we'll strengthen our alliance and face whatever challenges come our way. Luke found himself smiling back at her. Despite everything, he felt a small spark of excitement and hope. This unexpected bond, created by accident, might just be the beginning of something truly extraordinary.